Let me give you a typical example. And people will end up knowing which company it is, even though I won't mention the name. They're the biggest manufacturers of smart meters or meters in West Africa. The biggest manufacturer, they are my constituency.
Okay.
They have the capacity to produce 1 million meters every month.
Smart meters, you mean
The prepaid,
ECG
the
meters.
ECG prepaid meters. Yes.
But ECG has had a shortage of meters for almost a year.
I'm telling you, I said they have the capacity to produce 1 million meters every month. Now, it's owned by an Indian who has set up in Accra, in Pram Pram, Miocho to be precise. He currently is owed about 20 million by ECG, US dollars.
So their meters are in use in Ghana.
Absolutely, they're the biggest supplier to ECG.
Okay.
But I'm giving you a story. He's currently in about 16 other African countries, where he's supplying Burkina, Liberia, Ivory Coast, supplying them meters. They're using his meters produced from Ghana. What he's done is he's made Ghana his international headquarters. And so all of his sales in other African countries, when he's paid in Forex there, he repatriates to his headquarters here in Ghana. So he's bringing in Forex for production made here in Ghana. GRA goes to this company and tells him, slap a 30% tax on him, corporate tax on him, and all kinds of taxes.
Because
he's producing locally. That's the law. I'm coming. Let me land. And you know why he came to me as his MP? He said, an Indian will not do what the GRA officials said to him. And I'm putting this out on this platform. You know what they said to him? They advised him. Yes, they are. But that's the problem of our law. We need to look at it. They advised him that his taxes will go down by 30% if he moved his international headquarters, which is in Ghana, to Togo or Burkina. Because then he will be seen as a foreign company. So why we love foreign companies and give them all the benefits for setup in Ghana at the expense of Ghanaian-based businesses, when we claim we have a industrialization drive underway, beats my imagination. He's not the first person complaining about it. You have steel manufacturers. I have about 4 of the biggest steel manufacturing plants in West Africa in my constituency. 4 of the biggest in Africa, in West Africa, are in my constituency. In fact, the biggest in West Africa is in my constituency, an $80 million facility. And they tell me, they say, look, Sam, we have invested 80 million. For over 3 years, they are producing a 1/3 capacity because we can't give them the energy and water they need. Yet, people are importing cheap steel from China and selling here because they are foreigners, they are getting rebates. So how do we grow our local economy? You see, we're talking about all the things affecting the city. People who are exporting, because they've set up their base here. And that's why many manufacturing companies, if you follow it, go to Tema industrial area and look. Many companies are shutting down shop here in Ghana or scaling down and moving to Ivory Coast because they're trying to avoid taxes. We are overtaxing the industries that will earn us Forex and rather subsidizing for people who are importing. It's a leadership crisis. It spans the executive, it spans the legislature. The legislature is a little handicapped, not because I sit there, but because it's a financial based agreement. You can't bring a private member's bill. Because people will say, oh, why don't you do a motion, table a bill? Because it has financial implications. No member of parliament can initiate the bill. But we want to see the executive. Whichever government it is, we need to look at our taxation. And if you want to spare manufacturing and industrialization in your country, you must look at it and work on it. Randy, I'll give you another example.
You have passed the Exemptions Act, right?
The Exemptions Act.
You passed it.
But is it being implemented? You see, it's one thing passing the law.
Passed it.
Yes, that's why I said Parliament, we've done our bit, but is it being implemented? You understand me? Randy, I'll give you another example. You know, until the decision was made by Omanebo Ama as Minister for Communications under President Mahama that scratch cards should be printed locally in Ghana. We were importing scratch cards. The telcos were importing scratch cards into this country. Yet, once that decision was made, we have the capacity in Ghana to produce these things, and they are being produced. Currently, the beer they drink in Togo, the labels, is printed here in Ghana. All of this capacity exists here, yet we keep giving importation and contracts to India and China. as a country, if we don't place our premium and put our mouth where our money where our mouth is, what George Jackson said is the truth. The city is no longer a proper store of value. And that's why, because the city is no longer a proper store of value, everybody is chasing the dollar. Randy, we're talking about it here.
And you know why?
If you go to the port today, who takes the taxes at the port? Randy, is it not government?
Mm-hmm.
What is the rate government is quoting the dollar today at Tema Harbour? Government is taking taxes in dollars. First and foremost, they say you should not dollarize the economy. Yet government is quoting its taxes in dollars.
Really?
Oh
They
yes.
are indexing
Really?
in dollars.
But Randy, when you go, they tell you that this is the duty. It's in dollars. Then they give you the rates and tell you to go and pay. So the duty itself is calculated in dollars.
So index
and
in
then,
dollars payable in cities.
yes, but you shouldn't do that, because then
But you
if,
see,
no,
the
then
value of
then
the
Randy,
thing can
what
be
Randy,
forever.
Randy,
I mean,
what
dollar is
moral
a
rights does the Bank of Ghana have to also tell a landlord who is also saying I'm indexing in dollars, pay me in cedis at this rate? Or what moral right do you have to talk to the Katamato woman who is saying I'm indexing my goods in dollars at this rate, pay me at this rate? And I'm saying that the Bank of Ghana, Ministry of Information, every day they are tweeting Bank of exchange rate. The rate at Tema Harbour is different from the rate that the government is putting out through its official handles. Who is putting out those rates? Is it not the government? So you are giving us a rate on social media, yet you are charging a different rate at the harbour.
Right.
It's the same way we spoke about the BDCs.
We need to go.
You are allowing them to project at a different rate. I mean, when you do all of this, how do you? It's a leadership problem. It's a leadership problem.
Point on money as a store of value. It's one of the attributes and characteristics of money. But you see, when you keep talking down your currency,
Oh, Master, please don't go there. Who spoke down the Ghanaian city more than Dr. Baumia and Nana Addo?
They go about chasing dollars. That is where the Sikampe did it.
Please.
All right. The Dede and those who in the
listen.
Dede, when they
President Akufo-Addo sowed the wind and is reaping the whirlwind.
Down on the currency.
Who is talking down the
When
currency?
the Dede stops.
Who
CD,
spoke down the
people will
currency
have
more than
faith-
Nana Addo?
People will have faith in the currency.
Randy, I beg you, tomorrow,
And the CD
play the
and
president's
CD
voices
and
when he
the
was
CD
talking down the
will
CD.
become
All right.
a store
To remind
of
you,
value
listen,
again